you are born again, your foundation is not born again. Your family house is not born again. Your bloodline is not born again. When you become born again, there is what is called changing family government. And if a family government must be changed, there's what is called change of ownership. There are two things you find in heaven. These are two things you find in the spirit realm. One is the book of life. That is the one the church is preaching to you. Second is the book of remembrance. Is your name in the book of life? Yes. What happened to the book of remembrance? Some believers, their names are in the book of life, but the book of remembrance is where the battles are coming from. Every journey on earth is documented. Darkness has liberty to have the document. See, when an investigation is concluded or a judgment is given in law, it becomes a public document. Anybody can apply for the certified true copy of that particular issue. Listen, to everything that happened in your lineage, there is a place is documented, archived. And the Bible says, and the book of remembrance was brought before the Lord. Why was Mordecai favored? A book of remembrance, not the book of life. Yes. Book of remembrance is when we get to heaven, we see the book of life. On earth, what functions here is the book of remembrance. If you are born again, your name enters the book of life to be empowered to handle the book of remembrance. What has kept many believers in chain is the book of remembrance. If you don't understand the mystery behind the book of remembrance, you will be fugitive on the earth. You call for the archive of these books. Delete what should be deleted. When Jesus came to the synagogue in Luke 4, the book they gave him to read before the people was not the book of life. It was the book of remembrance. When he opened Isaiah 61 and he remembered that the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, for he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. The words of remembrance were called forth. Then while he was reading that book, he found in a place that Isaiah wrote to also preach the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of his vengeance. He said, no, I can't add vengeance. I have not come to take vengeance. He deleted vengeance, rewrote the book and gave it back to the men of the Lord. After it, he closed the book. When you read verse 18, you will see that what Isaiah 61 said, Jesus omitted vengeance. After reading that place, he gave the book back to the men of the Lord. When they opened it, they saw there was an editing work that happened. Since you became born again, have you ever ordered for the book of remembrance of your ancestors, of what your mother did, of what your father did, of what your grandfathers did? This is what is chasing you. The spirit world is a place of documents. In court, we have over 21 kinds of evidence. One of the strongest evidence in court is written and documented evidence. That document, are you aware that when you lose your case or win your case in the court of first instance and the case is appealed, you may not need to appear in that court, in appeal court or Supreme Court. What they do is to order for the document of the previous court of fourth of instance. They move it to that place. They study it and give judgment based on the document submitted. If your name is in the book of life and you have not handled the book of remembrance, there is an issue to be settled. David now prayed for somebody who was troubling him. He said, may the sin of his mother be remembered. May the sin of his father be remembered. When David searched and saw that there was no sin as an evidence to hold the young man, he evoked the sin of his ancestors.